You want to get high, man?
Let's stimulate your mind.
Get up, Chucky!
What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
Rogin, Kim.
California dreaming.
Hello and welcome to the Rogin Kimcast. It's me, Rogin Kim.
West Coast shit.
Welcome. It's been quite a crazy few days, huh? I mean, there was a tragedy in Christchurch, New Zealand. Big old shooting, man. It's a terrible, terrible thing. And one of the things I thought was fascinating to see was how quickly people would just make it about themselves, right? Or make it about America, or make it about whatever, and not even just give the people there a chance to grieve. Just let them grieve, and then maybe we can reflect on how fucked up the world is, a little bit later. I don't know. I'm included in all of this. It's a terrible thing. I can't help but to react, and now we can just see everything that happens around the world. Anything bad that happens, not, I guess, the truly despicable things that are protected by the ruling class, like the billionaires that are running pedophile rings or the church or whatever. We don't really truly see that stuff. But once in a while, something horrific happens and it reaches us, man. It comes all the way through, grabs us by the throat from across the world. And this motherfucker, the fucker that killed those people, fuck that guy, okay? He fucking put the fucking video out there and he just, I don't know. This is when he's alive, so I guess maybe we can find out more about what makes people like that tick. But then a part of me is just like, does that really? I don't know. I think when it comes down to it, people who are marginalized feel pushed to the edges. They lash out, right? That's when they become really dangerous. So what do? How do you engage psychopaths, right? How do you engage people who have the potential to murder dozens of people, hundreds of people? How do you engage people like that, Because I think the thing is, by not engaging or by becoming, I don't know, I guess shunning people, I think that makes us, the general population, more vulnerable. But it doesn't mean like we should be palling around with white nationalists or anything like that. I feel like this is not about ideology. It's about psychology. So I know the ideology is abhorrent. It's terrible. And that's not at all what I'm saying, that we should like sympathize with Nazis or sympathize. I'm just saying sympathize with the person, the human being. Because, I think it's a lesson when you think about the guy, that Black Klansman is based on, the movie Black Klansman. It's based on a true story of a black man who goes undercover and infiltrates the Klan. Actually, though, I'm sorry. I'm confusing this story with another story of a guy who actually befriends Klan members and gets them to turn in their robes. I can't remember his name, but I will. Oh my God! I just confused two Black Klansmen with each other. You racist son of a bitch! God damn it! I was trying to make a point here, and here I am, just as ignorant as everybody else. And you know what? Fuck it. Why not make this shooting about me? How did it affect me? I was scared. I'll be honest. I was scared about the future of this country, and I didn't know if I should get a gun or I shouldn't get a gun. I entered into a gun debate with somebody. I actually did enter, not a debate, but the shooting happened, and I was talking about it with this guy at work, and I was just mentioning that, the shooter mentioned that he wanted to use automatic weapons as a way of sparking the gun debate in America, to divide us or whatever. And then, the guy I was talking to just starts going off. He didn't even know about the shooting, but just based on what I just said, he just starts going off on like, America's really got to come to terms with what it's doing and how it's, how its laws affect people around the world and how this and this and that. And I don't know. I just kind of had to stop him and be like, yeah, I guess, but I don't know what this has to do with New Zealand, like what happened over there. Why does that? That's like when I saw this newspaper article on the LA Times that said what it was like in LA during 9/11, right? They had a whole news article. It was like front page, what it was like in LA during 9/11. And I'll tell you what it was like. It was fine, okay? It was fine because it was 3,000 miles away. It was literally on the other side of the... Okay, well, anyway. Speaking of the other side of the country, I went from LA to New York. Visited for a little bit, little family function, and had some time to visit with my friend, Caleb Barge. You know Caleb Barge? Caleb Barge, friend of the show, frequent guest. He's also the host of the We're Going to Hell podcast. Look that up. WGTH Pod on Instagram, Twitter. At Caleb Barge. At Caleb Thoughts on Twitter. Caleb Barge. Look him up. Buddy of mine. Great comic. Hilarious dude. And we had a great talk, man. We talked about a lot of shit. Caleb and I have a connection because of psychedelics. We've done some psychedelics together. I did my first DMT trip via Caleb in Caleb's apartment, his Brooklyn apartment, which will be forever etched into my brain as a portal to another dimension. Right? We have, we talk about stuff all the time. We talk about sex. We talk about men. We talk about being men's. We talk about women's. We talk about all of it, And I hope you enjoy this episode. It's a special one for me. Visiting my buddy was good, and he's inspired me to start talking to more people and start booking guests while I'm out here on the West Coast, just to expand my horizons, get out of my hole and not be such a crazy man ranting, which I like doing, so I'm going to probably keep doing that too. But anyways, enjoy this episode, Rogin Kimcast, episode number 84, Caleb Barge. Alright guys, here we are in Brooklyn. I'm in Brooklyn right now. I'm at my friend Caleb's house, apartment, a place where I did DMT. Right there on his bed. I disappeared into the nether regions. I definitely saw some kind of weird chrysanthemum, giant fractal flower that I flew through. I encountered an entity that I called the bouncer, who sort of made sure I was cool. And he said I was, let me in. And then I was in some kind of weird alien, what looked like a deck of a spaceship. Sort of. It's really hard to explain. But anyway, now I'm back. I'm back here in his apartment again, and he's joining me today. What's up, Caleb? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Caleb Barge. He's actually been on the Kimcast. He was there when we took acid and went to the beach. And we were on the beach and got super sunburned because we were too homophobic to put sunscreen on each other.
I wouldn't call that homophobic. I just don't want to touch you.
See, that's what I think. I think we would rather get cancer than touch each other.
Somebody actually asked me about that the other day, and I said, would you let a gay guy? I was like, I probably would have let a gay guy rub lotion on me. I just don't want you to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want
two straight dudes. Yeah,
I don't want my intimate. I don't want to become intimate with my friend.
Yeah, that's something.
It's not even intimacy. It's just logic. But
I think I was joking about that. How two straight dudes. That's the combination for death. Because if one of us was gay, it'd have been fine. If one of us was a woman, it would have been fine. But two straight dudes, that's death. Mm-hmm. That's we would rather die. That's why we fight wars. Because we would rather die death before dishonor.
Yeah.
We would rather die than be bitches. So that's how you can trick 100 dudes to run toward a machine gun. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. He's like, you want to be a bitch? And then be like, no, I'm not a bitch. And we'll fucking run toward the machine gun.
Yeah. I mean, that's
what we do.
I mean, it's just fucking ego, if you think about it.
Is it, though?
I don't really want to touch you, though. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't either. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying that's just what's real. If one of us was gay, it would have been fine. If one of us was a girl, it would have been fine. But because we're two straight dudes, we got burnt. We might if we get cancer later, we can point to that day. I will. I'll be like, dude, if I wasn't so homophobic, I might not be having cancer.
But it's not homophobia, though.
What do you mean?
It's not.
Why are you so adamant that it's not homophobic? Because it's obviously
it's not hate towards gay people.
But that's not. I'm not defining it as hate towards gay people. I just mean it's just we don't want to be.
That's what homophobia is. It's hate towards gay people.
No, it isn't.
Being afraid of. Yes, it is.
Well, sure, homophobic. You can be homophobic in that way, but you can also be homophobic in the way that you don't want to touch another straight dude. It's not necessarily a hatred-based thing.
No, I think it's
a phobia.
I think we're just both.
It's a fear. There's some fear attached to it.
There's some fear of being like, maybe we'll like it.
I don't know.
Because we're friends, and it's like, are we gonna fall in love with each other?
No, that's not the fear. My mind is just like, I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to rub lotion all over Caleb.
I don't want to do it.
Neither of us wanted to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we would rather burn.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying.
That's why hell's gonna be fun.
But if we were in war, I would have your back. You know what I'm saying? Like I would. If you got hit by fucking shrapnel, I'd drag your body. You know, while we were being shot at.
That's what. Didn't the Spartans? They actually encouraged.
They fucked each other. They butt fucked each other.
Yeah.
Butt fucking was yes.
And I'm trying to do this bit where it's like that makes sense because like you'd be fighting and you see some dude like getting killed and you're like, no, we gotta save Derek. He sucks good dick.
Yeah, everybody.
No, keep him alive.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things was that the dudes actually would fall in love.
Yeah.
Like, and so that's how you would form units. Like, you know, because I think in
Love
the
is-
military
love is-
now it's like 2-man units.
Love is bond, bro.
You got a shooter and a spotter.
Yeah.
You have a catcher and a pitcher. You know, and that's just the way it works. And then the two dudes, they would fight to the death for each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that was the Spartans were like, that's just how we do it.
Yeah.
We fucking love dicks. We don't love all dicks. We just love each other's dicks, and we'll fight to the death for those dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You don't see women doing that.
No, because women aren't violent.
I mean,
They are.
They're not
But they're
dumb.
They don't. Yeah.
Because if you think about it, it's kind of dumb.
It is dumb.
It's dumb because we die in the end. That's dumb. Like, women are smarter in that they're like, we're not going to all run to a machine gun. You know what I mean? You can never get. I have jokes
No,
about
'cause
how, like, you
that's
could
dumb.
never get
Yeah.
100 women to run toward a machine gun together. They're never going to
is
do that.
dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would be like, nah, we're going to talk it out. We're gonna just discuss.
And then people be like, "Oh my God, this is the worst talk ever."
Exactly.
Can we just end this, please?
The men would want to kill themselves. The men would be like, let's just go back on the battlefield.
Like, I don't like how
God.
talking to me. And you're just like, oh my God, okay.
Do you think that like
Can I have the talking pillow, please? Can I have the talking pillow?
I think like a lot of people say that if women ran the world, there would be less war. That would be less violent.
Absolutely.
You think so?
But we wouldn't be able
I
to
think
say anything.
It could possibly though be worse because you know why? The reason I say is that you ever watch Ronda Rousey fight? You ever watch Ronda Rousey? Remember Ronda Rousey?
Yeah, I remember Ronda Rousey.
Champion,
Yeah.
a woman champion. She fucking would get into these beefs with the people she'd fight against, and then after she fucking kicked their asses, she wouldn't shake their hand. She'd still continue the beef.
Oh,
Do you
drama,
understand? But dudes don't do that. You understand?
Some of them do. Yeah, but like I know what you're saying. But I know you're saying
overall that's really frowned upon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're supposed to go.
You
good
shake
match.
hands.
Yeah.
Usually that's how you make friends. Like you know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
you're a kid, you fight the kid,
Yeah,
another kid, and then you become friends after that.
That's absolutely.
And that's a male thing. So I feel that if women ran the wars, if we might not ever stop. You might fucking sign a treaty and then bomb them the next day and be like, "You stupid bitch! You think I'd fucking back down?"
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
And they make all the men do the fighting for them.
Sure they would. Yeah. And the guys would be like,
"You might
"Sorry."
get this pussy if you fucking fight.
And then guys fighting each other, we all know that like it's because of some weird drama. We're like, "Sorry, dude. If I sorry, bro. I gotta shoot you."
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. It's like, yo, it's like it's like that movie Our Idiot Brother with Paul Rudd and T.J. Miller in it, where T.J. Miller starts going out with this girl that was Paul Rudd's ex, and they're both just like, "Sorry, bro," like, and he's like, "Oh man, well whatever," and they're like nice to each other, but like she's the one that's like, "Fuck you," yeah.
And then you just kind of have to do what they say. You're just like, all right, well, I guess it's war.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know, but I don't know. Is that sexist? I don't know. Is that that's
no?
I think that's sexist.
I think you were one of the first people to say something about it, and I totally agree with you. I think it's a yin and yang. It can't be one gender overpowering the other.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't work like that.
It's always going to end up the same, where you'll have people angry, pissed off.
Yeah, right now the patriarchy is ruling shit, I guess. And
I don't know, man. I wish there was a woman here so we could have this talk, but you know what? Fuck it. Why not? It's just like any other day.
Today I identify as a woman.
Do you? Okay, well then let's have this talk. Like a friend of mine told me that she was like, she believes that women were dominated for all of history, like men basically dominated them physically, and that's why the world is the way it is. Like it was always like everything is based on dominance, you know. Like
men can kill you.
Sure, they can.
Yeah,
but men can kill other men. Men dominate each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but then that can't be the only way we organize society. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to me.
No, absolutely not. Women don't understand that there are definitely women in power who are whispering in the guy's fucking ear.
Not only that,
like,
there's actually women in power now. There's Angela Merkel. Like, you know what I mean? There's Queen Elizabeth. I don't know. I mean, she doesn't have real power, but back in the day, there's Queen Elizabeth the First. Like, there's
one of the top drug cartels ever. I think in Colombia.
Oh, Griselda. Yeah,
it was a woman.
Yeah,
she was evil.
Women run shit, and I think
they said that she was the most. They were like, anybody fucked with her, they were like, kill him.
Really?
Like, she was just brutal.
Dude.
She had no mercy.
Here's what I think. I think there are some women out there who are really fucking running shit, and the reason they are is because nobody knows
They are.
who they are or anything about. Like, that's how good they are.
Oh, I honestly think
That's what I think.
I honestly think women they don't even know this, but they control the power of speech.
Of course they do. They invented it.
Yeah.
Think about who teaches you how to talk. Your mom. You're talking with your mom. Your dad's not talking to you. Your dad's like over there just like, can you shut him up?
He's grunting and shit. Yeah. No, but think about it. Like, it gets to the point where like women will be like, you can't say that anymore. That's wrong. And guys will be like, okay.
That's
because they want to.
In school, who is the one that goes, you can't say that? Ooh, don't. I'm telling teacher. It's usually girls who regulate that. And then boys run around going, fuck you. And then they run around because they break the rules.
Yeah.
And that's usually kind of how it is. But you know what? One thing I learned was dogs do the same shit. It's not just people. Dogs actually do. I've witnessed female and male dogs interacting, and the female dogs know what the rules are. They know what's good. They know what's and then the male dog is just running around, just barking, breaking all the rules.
Didn't Patrice O'Neal say that? They just want to shut man fun down all the time.
Women are parrots. It's like
Well, they didn't know that there's always like they're always just trying to shut down man fun.
Yeah. But like, it isn't just men. That's what I'm saying. It happens in dogs. So I remember this fucking pair of dogs, guy and a girl. The guy's fucking running around. They're telling him, they're like, bad dog, go home, bad dog. And meanwhile, the bitch, the female, she's like at home, right, being good. While they're yelling at the male dog, she goes over and just eats all his food. You know what I mean?
Shit.
Yeah. Well, so it's genius. It's brilliant, but it's total the female-male behavior. If you can see it in dogs, what it tells me is that it's like biological. It's more. It's not ingrained. It's not human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not socialized like we. I think a lot of it is, but I think there's a lot of it that's just biological. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you think the dogs are socialized and we shouldn't assume their genders and stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Do you believe in two genders for dogs, Caleb? Do you think? What do you think, Caleb? Putting you on the spot. Happy Women's History Month.
Oh, it is, right?
It is Women's History Month. But does that mean you can identify as a woman and jump in on that? What do you think?
Absolutely not.
No,
I
right?
think it's insane for me to be able to identify as a woman.
But then, so you know about the whole TERF thing, right? Trans exclusionary.
But I've never had my period in third grade.
So so then what do you say to all those trans people who say that, gender is
You might be a woman inside, but you don't know what it's like to have
boom.
that shit happen to you when you're a kid, and that trauma.
You heard it here first. You goddamn trans motherfucker. You're trying to cross over onto women forever have been oppressed, okay, by men. And now you want to jump ship and get over there and act like you're better than them too. Like you can't. Okay, I'm sorry. Don't you know about those dudes who like, they go into power. I keep calling them dudes. They're trans men to female. They turn, they turn into women, turn into, I don't even know what the, I feel like I'm like a old man trying to make sense of this. They turn out, they don't even cut their dicks off, but then they're women. I don't understand, but then they want to compete. Yes, they transition, and then they decide to compete athletically, right?
I've seen that as bullshit. I think.
Do you think it's bullshit? Yeah, I think it's
not fair. You should be a trans woman. You should make your own league.
Yes, great. Okay, we can move on.
If you're another gender, then make your own fucking league.
Do you think trans people have a mental illness?
No.
See, that's a thing.
No, because we said gays were mentally ill back in the day, didn't we?
I did. I know I did. I used to say that all the time.
Oh.
No. Yeah, back in the day, they used to. Alan Turing, they fucking put into an insane asylum and chemically castrated him. You know who Alan Turing is?
Was he the guy who is the British dude?
Yeah, he invented computers.
Yeah, and he actually deciphered the Nazi code.
Yeah,
and
he broke the Enigma code. He saved us.
Yeah,
he saved us all.
But he's gay.
But
so he ended up killing himself.
And he died.
Right?
Yeah, because the drugs fucked with his head. His head, that was the genius brain that came up with all the codes and the
why
computers.
We're dumb.
We are. We would rather
stupid.
murder our smartest people because they're gay than let them come up with more cool shit.
I know.
Imagine the cool shit he could have came up with if he wasn't blamed for being gay and given drugs. Like imagine.
Isn't it? I mean, that's how just like smart people are always just like. I mean, that's why a lot of smart people are alcoholics because they just like dumb it down they dumb themselves down.
I guess if we do say that, like, let's just say, well, I do. I believe in this idea of the bell curve, right? Not necessarily that like black people are dumb or whatever that thing. There's that whole thing with oh, you don't know what the bell curve?
No.
Bell curve was this book that came out and it was really controversial because in it he said that he kind of tied genetics to intelligence.
Okay.
And then was like,
that's not true.
You know, Asians ended up kind of scoring high, and then it was like kind of like white, and then a little bit, you know. But a lot.
Well, I
of
mean, I know what you're saying. I know because it's like,
Right.
why are Asian people like? I think maybe you're just better at certain things.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't have the fucking answer.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be some genetic correlation, but I don't think it necessarily means that just because you're black, you can't ever be a genius, and just because you're Asian, you can't ever be dumb. That
If
doesn't.
I go to a dentist's office and they're like
Black?
I've never seen. To be honest.
You never seen a black dentist?
No, I've never
Really?
seen one. If I go to a dentist's office and it's like an Indian guy or an Asian guy, I'm like, fuck yeah. It's
You're
gonna
like happy?
Yeah, it's
You're,
gonna be.
thank God. But what
Dude,
about a
you know
white
why?
guy?
You know why? Because I went to NYU where the students were working on me, and it was rough.
And they were all white?
No,
Oh.
all the students were like working on me, and then like, I mean, this is because they were dentists, they were teachers, obviously. They would come over, I would just be like, can you just fucking do this? Like, they would go, vroom, 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 Asian guy or Indian guy, and they'd be done. And the girl's struggling on it, and I'm like, okay, it's because I know it's because you're a student.
Mm-hmm.
But is it because they're just fucking naturally good at it? Who knows what the fucking is?
Right.
Yeah.
So the Asian ones were better. Usually,
And
maybe they
Indian,
worked harder.
Yeah.
Maybe they worked harder. Maybe they. Well, I'll tell you what. Like growing up as an Asian kid, you're just. It's kind of like a lot of discipline is sort of part. You know, just part of like growing
And
up.
criticism, yes, from what you
Excuse
told
me.
me, yeah.
Yeah, it's a critique. Just fucking never
Constant
good enough.
criticism.
Never good
Yeah, I
enough.
know.
Never good. My fucking parents, and I didn't even have good parents. Like, here's the whole thing. They weren't even barely around, but when they were
Yeah.
around, they'd fucking write down math problems for me to do and force me to do math problems. And I'd be like, you're not
I know.
even fucking around. I
I
gotta
know.
do this.
Yeah.
And I still suck at math, so it didn't even work.
You know why?
Like-
Because you didn't like they were like, do this, and you're like, no. That's why.
Yeah, they didn't teach me
That's why
right.
I didn't like the Bible.
But Asians they're supposed to be good at math, but you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
and I'm supposed to have a natural inclination towards being good at it. But instead, I'm telling jokes on stage. You know, like I'm not supposed to be
Yeah.
doing that. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I was just saying that there was a fucking.
You're applying logic to.
No. I was just saying there's a curve, right? It's called the normal curve, and that's just the standard. That's just how things are distributed when you look at things like something like intelligence. Like intelligence, there's a curve, right? There's like. At the bottom, there's like really, really dumb people, and at the top, there's like a very small amount of really, really smart people. But in the middle, it's the majority, right? And it's sort of like shaped like a curve, like this bell
Yes.
curve, right? And so the thing about smart people is that they're on that right end of the curve where there's not that many people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the majority of the people are dumber than them, quote unquote,
Yes,
right?
most people are stupid.
So you could see that then you're like, fuck, what do I do? You either pretend to be dumb to kind of get along with everybody, or you're unhappy. You're basically
Yeah.
unhappy, or you learn
That's
to
where
cope. You got to learn
exactly, and the booze.
which is why people, do booze.
Rick and Morty. I mean, just look at that. It's like
Right.
the whole joke about it.
Right.
He's so smart that he just
Yeah.
drinks all the time.
Right, he'd rather die because everybody's so dumb. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean that is a problem. I feel like and that I feel like leads. It's probably a cause of depression, right? That's like a big part of. I know, like when I was depressed, that was a big part of like. What's the fucking point when everybody's fucking moron? It's all gonna go to shit anyways because everything is run by a bunch of fucking
Idiots,
assholes or
yeah.
morons. You're either fucking an asshole or an idiot. Like that's what it is, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's what it seems to be. It's either you're fucking dumb or you're taking advantage of the fact that everybody's dumb. That's what it seems like as you look at the world. And I feel like as that kind of is a self-fulfilling prophecy because the more you think of the world that way, the more you'll see examples of it, and then the worse you'll feel, and you'll fucking just start drinking more, and then so on and so forth. It kind of spirals. And I've fucking been there. A lot of people I feel like are there now, right? And I feel like, so what the fuck? Like, what do we? There's nothing in our society that gives us any tools to deal with that because all we have in society is us being told we got to buy shit or we're nothing or worthless.
I mean, I love Bernie Sanders and I love AOC. Like, they are screaming hope, and they are just like, we can change shit. And it makes me feel good, but I really don't think anything's gonna happen. And that's another thing I battle with myself, where I'm just like, nothing's gonna change unless there's a violent revolution.
Right. But I don't know if that's actually true. I mean, I think violent revolutions always cause change. I mean, change comes from them, but it isn't necessarily that that is given or constant, right? Like, I feel like there are...
We have to take it back. There's no fucking way. I don't think electing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the system is so corrupt. There's no way inside of the system to do anything to help.
It's a big club,
right?
And we ain't in it,
right?
You know?
And the only way is to go in and what are you advocating here, Caleb? Because I just want the listeners to be clear on what they should do. Is no, see, because I think that's
you go to YouTube and Google Ausrotten, AUSROTTEN, and the song is called "The System Works for Them." And don't do like the 2-minute version. Do the 6-minute version because it has a long introduction. It has just a bunch of quotes from people talking about how it's really hard to not make change if you just don't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the great lines that goes, the people in power are very good at this because they divide us against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they've managed to turn men against women, white-collar workers against blue-collar workers, but mainly for 400 years, white people versus black people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's divide and conquer. And it's like they will keep constantly being in control if they keep doing this to us.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't realize that it's not a race war, it is a class war, then there's no way to fucking solve it. And there's just tons of dumb people. And it works. Look at the MAGA. Look at the fucking, look at all that shit.
So this is a song?
Yeah, some fucking punk band wrote.
Oh, okay.
Back in like
I mean, it sounds like a pretty jamming song.
This is quotes from people. I don't know who they are specifically,
gotcha.
but
no, I understand. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a conglomerate. It's like a kind of a piecing together a lot of different political philosophies, right? Like just some Marx in there and something. But overall, I think that's true. Hey, is there any way we can pause for a second? Can you pause? I'm just gonna. Okay, we're back. All right, I'm convinced, having listened to that song, Ausrotten, that it's right. It is. It's all rigged against. It's us versus them, and it's rigged to be a divide and conquer type of situation where the ruling class divides the rest of us, so that we fight against each other and enabling their rule to continue on and on. Sounds about right. I don't know. I mean, I can't argue with that.
Really,
I don't know. I don't really know.
It's pretty simple if you think
it seems
about it.
like pretty.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, I think that's why I really don't. I'm not.
It's easy in America.
I don't really fucking believe in race, man. I just don't believe in it. Like I get that people look different and that there's all this history behind it, but I can also see how it's just used to control people. It's just used to control you, and there's no. The thing about, to me, like for me, I grew up here as a minority, so a lot of times I was the only Asian person, and even in comedy, right? I'm always usually the only Asian person in the room, whatever. But I didn't really do anything to be Asian. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm not like proud of it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not proud.
Exactly what
I'm not ashamed of it, but I'm not proud of it. You know what I mean? I'm not like I'm Asian. Like I didn't do anything.
I am definitely not proud to be white.
Yeah, but people are. And I feel like people have Asian pride, white pride. People find pride in what they are because they actually don't feel good about anything else. You know what I mean? They don't have anything else going. Yeah, they don't do anything with their lives.
I think that's a lot. I think when you kill creativity in like a society where you don't push like to be creative, I think when people can't explore creativity in any certain sort of way, that's when they're just like, what else do I have?
That's when people start getting depressed. People get sick from that.
Yeah,
because there's nothing.
Yeah, and then you go, okay, what do I got? I'm like, at least I'm Asian. And you go, fucking Asian pride, or it's like, I'm American. Nationalism.
Right.
Nationalism is.
Or even Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, bro.
You just get a smaller. McDougal Street, motherfucker.
Yeah, there's no. You got to be. I think you got to be creative. I mean, I think everybody is creative.
I think we all are, but there's no
outlet for certain people.
There's no art in everyday life anymore.
No,
there used to be, but that's because all art has been commodified, commercialized.
I mean, the internet definitely has made, like, when I see artists, like, I just saw this artist. It was amazing. He takes wood boards and he makes pictures by just using the sun to burn the wood. I thought that was fucking amazing. He's got an outlet.
It's like
he's not going to be racist.
See,
I mean,
I'm
you
so
never know. You know,
I'm torn about a lot of this stuff because on one hand, I feel like, okay, if you're a real artist like that dude, like maybe you should just get money from the state to just do your art, you know, and like sometimes you just have to do some stuff for the state, maybe, I don't know. But on the other hand, I'm like, what does that mean? Is that like, I mean, then what are you, a propagandist? You know, if you're state supported, does that mean you're like beholden to the state? And then the state, does it really have a role in the arts? But then on the other hand, what kind of private incentive is there to support artists? There's no private company is going to fucking support an artist for this.
Starving artist. That's where the term comes from. It's because.
But not every. See, there's countries out there that actually do support artists, and they don't, and you're allowed to do whatever you want. You know what I mean? You do have some, or at least there's like better funding for the arts.
Yes.
At the very least. You know what I mean? And we don't have that because we only view art as important if it makes money.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Because America is a business.
Aside from including our very souls are businesses in this country, and that's why so many people suicide is the leading cause of death of young white men right now. That's why it is, because they're told they're worthless. They're being told they're worthless, and they're also being blamed for everything that's happened all the way up until this point. You know what I mean? Which isn't to say that white men didn't do shit, all the shit but
of course they did. But
but
I didn't do it.
This isn't how you make a society better by taking a group of people. You're basically doing exactly what they did. You're doing it back to them. Yeah. Not really. We're not rounding them up or anything.
That's why I think the liberals are hypocrites.
Right. Exactly. Because really, it's just, it's just really, I feel like, both sides. It's just the Bill Hicks thing, right?
It's racism again.
It's the Bill Hicks thing. It's like, I prefer the puppet on the left. No, I prefer the puppet on the right. Like everything I know is through stand-up comedy bits. So
Everybody. That's just. I mean, if you're just doing the same, you're blaming somebody for what's going on in the world. It's like, yeah, okay, so you're blaming fucking white men for all the problems in the world. It's like, okay, but are you really looking at who is to blame? Those white men who do run everything.
Like, when did you first realize you were a white man, Caleb?
My friend Rob does this to me all the time. He's just like, how does it feel to be white and have none of the privilege?
I mean, was there a time when you were a kid where you realized you were white? You're like, I'm white. Like, when did you realize you were white?
That's a good question. Probably when I was early.
Like, do you have a memory? Do you have a memory of being like, hey, I am white? Or how do how do you have anything associated with like?
I mean, when I probably saw somebody who wasn't white, I was like,
you were like, hey, they're not like me.
No, they're different skin. I'm like, oh, I'm white. Oh, you talking about like when I realized I'm the privilege and shit?
No, just like white.
Oh,
that
just
you're
white.
Yeah, that there was a white and you're white and other people are not white.
Probably when people started talking about it, and I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think for myself when that was.
It's other people talking
about it. Kindergarten, maybe, like first grade. I feel like it's school. Like when I went to school, there was like other races more, and then I had to kind of like. But you know what? I fucking watched a lot of TV growing up, so I knew that. I remember knowing that there were different people.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually been kind of not super recently, but like definitely once you start getting older into adulthood, you start realizing like, oh, motherfuckers hate me because I'm white. Because
you just started realizing that?
No, not realizing it. No, but like,
no, you didn't know your whole life you were hated for your color.
Well, when you're younger, you don't give a shit. And I grew up in a pretty white town,
right?
So it's everybody's white, you know.
Was there one black kid?
I had one black friend that would hang out in our group.
So you had there was one black friend.
No, this town had black people in it, and they just were up in the fucking like the housing that we didn't really go to.
Oh, so there was a neighborhood. There's like an area where the black people were.
And like a lot of, we walked around. We were like kids. We were like fucking, we had like friends with the nail polish and everything. Like some of them are goth. We were like misfit free kids.
Got it.
And like the black kids would fucking fuck with us.
Right.
And we were just like, okay,
Right.
And then
didn't you fuck with them back for being black?
No, we really didn't. No, we didn't really fuck with the black kids. It was mostly the jock white kids that fucked with us.
Right.
Like, faggot. And we'd be like, fuck you.
You think they picked on you guys because they knew you were weaker? They're like, let's pick on the goth kids. They don't fight back.
Because we're easy to fuck with. Because we're different.
Yeah, and your folks probably aren't cops or anything.
Right? Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is, when I started like working and I was way out of high school, we had our one friend Malik, he used to like, because he worked with us and he used to hang out with us, and I think he's funny to this day because I remember one time he was rolling a blunt and he would spill the guts all over the fucking coffee table, and my friend was like, Malik, can you please not do that? It's fucking, can you just put it in the garbage? And he just goes, I remember he's rolling the blunt, he goes, you know what, one day I'm gonna kill you white motherfuckers. And we were like, oh shit. And we started laughing because it's like, dude, what does this have to do with race? You're just being rude. I know. And
but it is hilarious. Was he being funny? I feel like
he was probably being funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
it sounds like a joke.
And then like I remember he refused to eat watermelon in front of us, like refused, and we didn't care,
right?
Obviously,
but he refused, yeah.
But he'd be like, and then this is like a fucking half true. I mean, there's a punchline to it, but I remember one time he used to do a lot of blow, and he went into my friend's room because we were hanging out in his apartment, and we were having like a barbecue or whatever, and he went to my friend's room and closed the door, and we were like, and I was like, is fucking Malik doing coke? I was like, I want to do some. I opened the door, motherfucker's eating watermelon there by himself. And then like the joke is I walk in, like it was like I walked in and I'm masturbating. He's like, yo motherfucker, don't you knock. And I was just like, dude, what are you doing? He's just like, fucking hanging out in here.
Oh man.
I mean, it could have.
That's kind of sad though, in a way. You know, think about like that's like something that you're really bothered by. I kind of sometimes I can relate. Sometimes when I'm driving around, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm Asian, so you know, I feel like people either expect me to be a shitty driver or whatever. So I like to overreact when other people are shitty drivers. Like, oh god, what they and then I make eye contact with other drivers. Like, you see that?
Yeah.
See that? It's not me. It's fucking us good drivers versus bad drivers.
Yeah.
But you know, but. I don't know about watermelon, but I know fried chicken is a stereotype also. Like black people like fried chicken and shit.
Yeah,
and
who doesn't?
I know, but did you know the reason that it started was there was a time in the South when black people first were freed, there was a law that didn't let them sell meat except chicken. They could only sell chicken, so they weren't allowed to.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah, so that's where it comes from. So black people sold fried chicken, and so
they like it.
Yeah, but it's like just because of a law you made.
I know.
That's why white people are amazing. Because they came
They're
up
manipulative.
They came up with all these racist things that make no sense until you learn about the laws they passed.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this makes sense.
I had no idea.
Yeah, but it just continues on, and nobody has any idea.
Why only chicken?
I don't know. I think it's because it was like to not threaten the industry, the meat industry, you know, because they were going around selling. It was the train started coming in, and they would sell food like barbecue and shit to people. So to stop them, they were like, you can't sell meat. But I think chicken was. I think chicken. There was no. I remember everybody raised their own chickens, so they just fucking made their own chickens instead of going to buy beef. You know, they didn't need to buy meat anywhere.
Yeah.
But anyways, the whole fucking thing comes out of the fact that they were there was a racist law that prevented them from selling anything else but chicken. And then white people made fun of them for it.
And also making fun of black people for liking watermelon. It was probably the most amazing thing.
Who doesn't like watermelon?
Well, the thing is, when you're working out in the fucking fields all day and it's hot,
right?
Watermelon is probably the best treat ever.
Sure, but you know, I think it's just a ridiculous thing. You know,
watermelon is amazing.
Yeah,
it really, and it's also a natural Viagra. Did you know that?
No, but that makes sense.
Is.
Maybe that's why.
It's mostly water.
Mm-hmm. So
water is good for the circulatory system.
Oh, okay, so it just gets the blood flowing and gets your dick hard.
I mean, it's just I read that it's actually a natural Viagra, and dude.
You swear by it?
Yeah.
You're like, bro, I ate 4 slices of watermelon, bro, and then I just fucked.
No, there's definitely.
I fucked her till I fucking. She's begged me to stop, bro. I think
there's definitely times when I was like, I knew I was gonna have like a crazy sex session with a girl, and I was like, all right, we're gonna get some pistachios because they're good for your penis.
Yeah.
And I got some
oysters.
Watermelon.
No,
dude, I used to just when I had money, I used to just like when I went food shopping, it was pistachios, fucking olives. Watermelon, and like it just made me fucking like I don't know.
Well, you heard it here first. It's the hard dick diet.
I really enjoy sex.
Caleb Bards' hard dick diet. He is, if he's mastered anything, he's mastered having good sex. And so listen to him, guys.
Seriously,
guys,
be honest,
guys. Do you want to fucking keep buying Blue Chew and fucking getting that shit on like that? You think there isn't any consequence to popping Viagras like candy? You don't think something's going to happen down the line to your dick if you keep taking dick pills? to go the natural route. All right, eat some fucking watermelon. Eat some. Black people have known this for centuries. They have known.
No, it's the Mediterranean diet. It's actually
eat Mediterranean food.
The Mediterranean food is actually really sexy.
And that's why there's a stereotype of a sexy Mediterranean.
And it's also just there's a lot of blood flow, like garlic.
Make that blood flow. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Onions aren't really sexy, but garlic is definitely sexy.
It's no, okay. Well, either way,
it's rough because it fuck your breath up.
Right, the breath. But what if you don't care?
The smell of garlic, dude, is
an aphrodisiac.
Sexy. Yeah, and
all right.
I don't think it's necessarily an aphrodisiac, but also olive oil is very just like it's a sexy thing.
So we're talking garlic, olives, and then watermelon. All right, lubricating. Oysters also.
You know what I think are really like if I was gonna take a girl out and I wanted a really sexy night, I would take her. I would probably not even take it. I would make it myself, like an Italian dish, but it would be no tomato sauce. It would be like light olive oil with like white wine, and like heavy garlic, and maybe like a shrimp scampi or something like that. Because it's like butter. It just I mean butter doesn't really get the blood flowing. It actually probably makes you feel heavy, but just like a sexy, you know what I'm talking about?
A sexy meal.
Yeah,
talking about a sex-filled, but not like in a Cosby way where you're slipping him something through the actual ingredients of the meal.
Those aren't. It's red pepper flakes. It's not
right, and it's not to get them. It's to get you going, not necessarily. I guess blood flow is good for the women too. I mean, it's good for everyone.
I mean, dude, I'm really big on foreplay.
Do you think that anything like what happens when women take Viagra? Like, does that make them horny, or
they grow a dick?
They do, or is it clit just hard? Is that I just have hard clits?
Actually, you know what's crazy? I think I don't. I actually read something about it. I totally forgot. I think it just really doesn't. I think it just makes them horny. It works the same. I think it works the same way.
Well, does Viagra make you horny? It just makes your dick hard. It doesn't make you horny though. You know what I mean? You could actually not be horny, but take Viagra and fuck without being horny.
But if there's blood going to your dick and you see it, you're going to have a natural reaction and you're going to get horny. You're going to go, I want to fuck something.
Most people, but what if you're like depressed or something? You know, what if you're super depressed, but you're like, I got to fuck the wife.
Then you do self, then you're like, I'll stick my dick through a hole and somebody will suck it. You know, you'll do self-sabotage.
No. I'm saying like you have someone you do fuck, but you just can't get it out because you're depressed. So you decide.
I've never had that problem.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like just a regular.
Is that a real thing?
Like,
if you're depressed, you can't get hard?
Yeah. Yeah, there's sexual.
Sex cures my depression.
Well, everyone's different, man. Not everyone's a maniac like you. Not everyone's fucking guzzling down olives and watermelon like you.
Well, actually, you know what? I really realize this about myself. When I'm not getting laid, I start drinking heavily.
So you have a depression.
Because my main thing is sex is my main.
Do you feel like you're a sex addict?
No, because you know what? You ever listen to sex addicts? They just fuck over their friends and like.
They destroy their lives.
Yeah, they're assholes.
So you don't think you would destroy your life?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think.
All right, good for you.
I think I am definitely addicted to, love.
Right.
I think the feeling of infatuation. I mean, that's an amazing feeling. I think it's the best drug on the planet.
Might as well face it.
I mean, they can. I was thinking about the other day. Probably days before too, where like how like they can your brain produces DMT and now you can smoke it. What if they were able to produce love and you could take it out of your I mean they do that with chocolate. it releases the same chemicals in your brain as love as chocolate does, but not as strong. But if you could get that powder of it will make you feel like you're in love, but it'd be weird because you're not focused on one person. So it's like so ecstasy or Molly.
But it's a little different.
It's different.
I mean, I feel like people have been working on love potions for a while, right? Love potions. But the idea isn't because ecstasy. I feel like what happens is it's kind of universal. You love everything and everybody, and maybe if you love somebody, you would feel a deeper, intense love for them, but I don't think it makes you fall in love.
And also, if somebody falls in love with you and you treat them like shit, you're a bad person.
Well, I think anybody who wants a love potion, I don't think they really have the best of intentions. You know what I mean?
If you read the art of seduction, you're a manipulative piece of shit.
Exactly. And now you got to slip them a Mickey, like you know what I'm saying? And that's even worse.
It's mental roofies, dude.
Not even that. It's like in some ways I could argue
in love with me because I'm
exactly.
insecure.
That's like a lifetime of slavery.
Insecure,
That's a
yeah.
lifetime of slavery versus, just being attacked one night versus, you know what I mean? And in some ways, I think that's worse. That's like you're basically owning a person forever.
Yeah.
That's gross. But people do want to do that.
But people,
Well, I mean, there was a huge trade, in fact, where people would buy and sell human beings. Actually, there's open air slave markets in Libya now. Right now on YouTube, you can find footage of people selling slaves in Libya. So
I don't think anybody will ever really realize what true love is, because it isn't. When you like, I'm not talking about like love. I think love and infatuation are way two different things. Infatuation is when you want to mate with somebody and have babies. It's the chemical. Is it oxytocin? Maybe.
I mean, that's one. Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Love is being like, do you really care for this person? Like, like the cheesy fucking shit. If you love somebody, you'll let them go. Like that is being like, yeah, I do love you, but you got to do your own thing. Like I really do.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah, love you in the sense that you'd rather they be happy. Like you wouldn't if they're unhappy with you, you would rather they be free so that they could be happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. That exists. Yeah, I understand.
And just also trying to understand and not being selfish. Like in a relationship, trying to understand where they're coming from. I mean, love is understanding.
Yeah, like empathy.
Yes, empathy.
Having
and just
empathy.
being like, and forgiveness.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just being like, and not and putting down your ego and being like, look, this person is just a fucking person and they make mistakes.
Do you think that's harder nowadays because all that shit's amplified, like ego is amplified? Fucking,
yes.
There's this whole cancel culture where like one mistake and you're fucking done. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that makes it hard for people to have relationships because you like just break up as soon as you find one little flaw or something. Or it's like Seinfeld. Remember that Seinfeld episode where it's like she's got man hands? Like where it's just you find one flaw and you're like, I'm done. You just fucking. You don't even like.
Yeah, that's not love. That's you're in a relationship. You're just looking to be in a relationship. I feel.
Just looking for the perfect person, like some match.
You're lonely and you're codependent. You just want to be with somebody. I don't.
But you're not so lonely that you like take anybody. So you're all picky and shit. Not you, but I'm just saying people out there.
And you're a fucking ass.
You're an ass.
The thing is, I kind of understand. Like if there's something that bothers you that much, then you just gotta go. Fuck it.
You ever been with a chick who is like really hot but like stank breath? It's like so hot. She's like really hot, but then like breath, and you kind of ignore it. You can ignore it for a little.
You tell her your breath fucking stinks. And if she refuses,
then it's over.
Then it's like kind of like, what are you? You don't care that your breath stinks? Like that's like I don't think there's ever been a hot chick that has bad breath. In my experience, there definitely has. You drink fucking eat garlic knots when you're drunk and shit. I had a girl. She was really cute, and it was a long time ago. And I remember she was talking to me and she was flirting with me. I really wanted to hook up with her. Yeah. But she had fucking garlic breath, and it was really bad. And I was like, I said,
I thought you just said garlic was good for the sex.
I'm saying no. It's good for the sex. It's a very sexy thing. It's just like it can make. I mean, think about it. If you're eating raw garlic, to the point where like garlic knots. Think about that. It's just like, it's just covered in garlic.
Yeah.
They don't. It's raw.
Right.
Pretty much.
So she had really garlicky breath.
It's just her breath didn't smell good.
Right.
I straight up was like, dude, your breath smells like fucking garlic. No, you know what I said to her? I was like, do you have garlic knots before this? And she goes, because I was in a college town and who else is gonna fucking stink of garlic? You went to the pizza place and they garlic knots. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, and she got super insecure about it. And I was like, yeah. She goes, does my breath stink? I was like, yeah. And she goes, what do I do about it? I was like, keep drinking more tequila and soda.
There you go. Boom.
What I said to her, dude. Right. I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, what are you gonna tell her? Yeah. Well, garlic, you can't. It's inside, so you gotta. You know what I mean? You can't get rid of it brushing your teeth.
Yeah, I mean,
the smell's coming from inside of her.
Yeah, it's just like.
But then, did that make her in any way less attractive?
No, I would have definitely hooked up with her.
Right.
I thought she was so cute.
Now, do you think the opposite would be? How do you think if
I think that
you were a girl and she was a chick? You know what I mean?
think maybe she. I don't think she found me more attractive. She was just like, oh, this dude. I think everybody just wants the truth.
No. What I'm saying is, what if you were a dude who had garlic knots, and then the girl was all like, "You smell like garlic knots."
Well, I wouldn't be a guy and be like in her face being like, hey, like flirty. That's what she was doing to me.
Right.
And I was like, dude, your breath stinks.
So what I'm saying, like, if the situation was reversed and a dude was hitting on a girl and he was all like, hey, whatever, do you think? I wonder what are the odds of the girl being like, well, he's still cute, like even though he's got the garlic breath, like, or would they just automatically be like,
You know what?
Yeah.
I here's the thing. In that situation, a lot of guys would have probably still fucked her and then talked mad shit about her afterwards. Like, her fucking breath stunk like garlic. I was just like, dude, this is actually making me not want to have sex with you because it stinks.
So it did actually lower the attractive, you know what I mean? You were like, yeah I don't want it. But that's also, you are not afraid, you're not the type of guy to like kind of like let it go and not say anything just because you're afraid you might offend her or some shit, you know what I mean? She might run away.
In my
or
opinion,
some shit.
I'm being nice. I'm like, dude,
exactly, but not everybody thinks that way.
You're gonna be talking to a bunch of people all night. It was the beginning of the night. It was like 8 o'clock at night.
I mean, if you've got a booger on your face and nobody's telling you, yeah, those aren't nice people.
No, I hate those people.
Yeah, but
I get really mad when I'm like, dude, I had sleepies in my eyes. I call them sleepies.
I should call you out for that, actually. No friend should let you go around and say, you call them sleepies, man?
What do you call them?
I don't know. I just call it like I got gunk in my eyes or some shit. I don't know. I got sleep. You could say I got sleep in my eyes.
I've had gunk in my eyes before, and I've gone to the bathroom.
Sleepies.
I'm hanging out with a friend. I was like, dude, you didn't fucking tell me I had gunk in my eyes? And they were like, no, dude. And I was like, I've been fucking talking to girls like this for fucking 20 minutes, and they're probably like grossed out.
Yeah.
And that can stop it.
So do you think they did that on purpose, like subliminally, to like
possibly
let you fail?
Possibly.
Fuck Caleb, he's always getting puss, man. No, fucking let him fail. That's what I say.
Or they just don't.
Or they're just gross guys who don't even care. They don't even look at. They don't even like think about it.
Or there's a lot of There's 3 reasons. They didn't even notice. Or the second one, they did notice and they don't tell you. And the third one is, fuck him. I don't want him this will make him. They'll look
some kind of spite. Yeah, competition. Yeah, gotta take you down a peg. Fucking, fucking Caleb's going around.
I will go into the bathroom. Like a few times in a night and just check to see.
Dude, fucking Caleb, he's always fucking snagging puss and goddamn telling the bitches that their breath stinks and they're still fucking him. Dude, fuck that guy, man. He's got eye crust. Let him have sleepies. He's got sleepies in his eyes. Fuck him. Let him have sleepies in his eyes. That's what they say.
I had a funny thing happen to me. This girl told me, I was hooking up with her, and she said, you know what? Whenever we're having sex and I look into your eyes, you just look dead inside.
Nice. Like a shark.
And I was like, what? And she was like, it's sexy as fuck.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay.
Nice.
Like, your dad left you at a party.
Yeah, I know. She has fantasies. She has very special fantasies.
She's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't the girl I dated. It was a different one.
Oh, it's not that one. Another one.
Different one.
Man. Well, they're a special bunch. They're a real special breed, I'll tell you what.
But I was like, whatever works, man.
Hey, some people want to be fucked by dead people, and I think that, why? Who are we to judge them? That's what I say. That's
I think it's they want to like fix you because it's like you look hurt or like sad or something. And
I think that's true. What do you think that's about? Why do you think women want to fix dudes? Like that's a stereotype, but it's.
Why do you think men want to fix anything? I think people just want to fix stuff.
Yeah, but men don't want to fix other dudes or women, really.
Well, I don't want to fix other dudes. I mean, I want to. I had they don't call it fixing. They call it the salvation.
But do you ever? I know for me personally,
savior complex.
I have that shit. So I've actually avoided relationships because I like.
I did too. No, I did the savior shit for a long time, and I went, I'm not gonna do this ever again.
Yeah, no, I stopped.
You know what actually helped me? DMT.
Oh, good for you.
DMT was like, dude, you're following not real love. These people don't love you.
DMT told you that? I didn't have anything about love.
No, I had these maternal beings that look like flowers.
Yeah,
were like, come.
Yeah.
Love.
Okay.
They kept saying love.
Yeah.
And then I was afraid to go there, and then I realized
afraid of love.
I'm afraid of actual good love.
Yeah.
And then when I realized that, my mentality changed. And I was like, I'm tired of fixing these people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just noticed myself recently. There's some person messaging me, and she's a hardcore alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, I'm not even gonna have sex with her.
Yeah, that happened with me. The heroin, the chick was shooting up, man. And I was like, I could see this going down such a bad road, because I have that. It would have been like Sid and Nancy or some shit, like it totally would have. And and I saw. It's actually. I think for me it was probably psychedelics, like acid and mushrooms. It helped me see myself to be like, I could see myself going down this road and then like avoiding it. Yeah,
because caring for somebody, if you're a really empathetic person, there's leeches, man, and they will drag you the fuck down.
Oh yeah, vampires.
They'll literally suck you dry of like.
And
you'll just be, and at the end they walk away.
And to move on to the next one.
I know, move on to the next one, and you sit there like this.
You're a husk, empty.
Yeah.
And I feel like we probably both could have been real good victims of, or probably still could. I
think I just was recently.
I could see myself like fucking 70, 80 falling for some young woman, like totally fucking smitten. Like, actually, that's what happened.
You end up just not trusting anybody. I don't really trust.
You don't trust anyone because of that?
I don't think
you don't trust anyone because of yourself. Because
No. I don't trust people because I know they're not honest.
Oh, okay, but you're not talking about your own capability.
If people aren't honest even with themselves, how do you expect them to be honest with you?
Do you feel like then being empathetic is for you like a strength or a weakness? You still feel like that's a good thing? Because people take advantage of that empathy, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, they take advantage of it. That's a great question. I think empathy. I think there's nothing stronger than to just be who you are and be. I'm going to care about this person. But when they start taking advantage of you, and you like, if you know it, and you're still being like a little puss, and you're just being like, they're fucking with me. But some people are great liars, and you realize it afterwards. And then if you still are just like, oh, I don't know, and you keep going back, it's just like, and that is a weakness. But if you go with somebody and they hurt you, and you just go, okay, all right, I learned another lesson, and you got to be strong. I think and it's honestly admitting to people your true fucking inner feelings is definitely takes fucking balls.
Way more balls, dude. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It's way easier to make some shit up than to
fucking hide how you actually feel.
That's actually
because you want something from them.
I feel like that's what motivated me. A big part of my life was like my dad always lied. Every time he married another woman, he lied and told me she was my real mom. And like this started when I was really little. Are you pausing?
Yes.
Great place. Okay, we're back. All right, so I was just saying, my dad, he's remarried a bunch of times, and every time he remarried when I was little, he would tell me that was my real mom. So like, I don't remember my birth mom. I don't remember because they broke up when I was young. But then the next mom I remember was around when I was 5, and he told me that she was like sick. And that's why I hadn't seen her, and that she was my real mom. But then he ended up divorcing her when I turned 8, and then another lady came, and he was like, "No, that's your real mom." But then by that time, I was like, I was like 11.
And you're like, "No, it's not."
Come on, dude. Yeah, I was like, "Come on, bro."
How many times can you lie to me about this?
Yeah. And then he's met, and it kept going, and like even in college, like when I graduated college, he married another woman, and he was like, he didn't tell me she was my real mom, but he was just like, basically calling her my mom, like, "This is your mom," and it's just like it's completely oblivious. And the thing is, I realized it's like he's been too afraid his whole life to tell me the truth, like, and would rather make up this fucking lie. You know what I mean? And I think like that's really motivated me, and I think that's probably why I started doing comedy and shit, like just
seeking truth.
The idea that like people are very uncomfortable around the truth, and I'd rather just go toward it. You know what I mean? I'd rather just run toward it, and then somehow that's funny. That's funny to me. I don't know.
I mean, when you finally realize that like all religion is bullshit, and you've been being told that as a child, like, this is the truth, and these are the people that you trust telling you that this is the truth.
Yeah,
you're like, it's not the truth, and then it goes even higher. The government's fucking lying to you, and then you date somebody, and then they're lying to you, and you're like, who the fuck is it? Who the fuck I just want to be around somebody who tells the truth. Brutal. Remember, Patrice O'Neill was in an interview, and he said, why is it called brutal honesty? It should be called, you're a brutal liar. You're actually not being like a good person. You're lying. I would rather just have anybody just tell me the fucking truth. And you get cynical, but it makes you stronger. If people are lying, I don't like to be lied to. Who likes to be lied to? Nobody.
Well, in a way, everybody, though.
We
that's how we've built our whole fucking society now. It's all lies. It's all lies, and people would. That's why that Jussie Smollett thing happened. That he'd rather have a fake ass attack. You know what I mean? It's more important to be a victim and not have it be real than anything at all. And in the end, people will be the most cynical of us will be like, he got publicity. You know, like in the end, his name got out there, and it doesn't even fucking matter, right?
I know.
But I do believe that deep down inside, most people have that feeling of like, no, the truth is better. Like it's actually better to tell. Otherwise, I don't think we would have made it this far as a society. Like I think we would have just all killed each other.
I mean, people. I mean, I was on this podcast where actually it was called the Chris Kidd Show, and you can look it up. And he actually just got arrested for child sex trafficking.
God damn it!
But I would be recording his podcast because I worked at the studio that he would record at, but he would sometimes have me as a guest, and I was like, I don't know if I should do it because he's like really homophobic and sexist, and I was like, no man, he's got 6,000 subscribers on YouTube, and now he has like 25. I mean, he could have bought that shit, but he definitely had. I mean, he could have got more probably because he went to prison. You know, who fucking knows? But at that time he had 6,000 subscribers, and I went, all right, this is a way to send a message out to people. People are watching me, you know, and I can get my. And after I was on the show, a lot of people were like, "Dude, you were great on the show. It was great to see your point of view." They added me on Instagram. Like fucking this hooker started sending me sexy videos and shit.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, this is what fame is like a little bit, but
that little taste, a little taste
of fame, and it was like interesting. And then I remember one of his guests came on, and they went, "Oh, is this fucking Caleb?" And I was like, "What's up, man?" And he goes, "Yo, fucking Caleb, you speak your mind, man. I fucking love you." And I was like, people do like
people do. That's why people love Patrice. Honestly, Patrice didn't make it in the business because he wasn't able to lie. But the people who love Patrice, they like truly love it. You know what I mean? They they mourn his loss. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what people do.
Even if he's wrong about some certain things, like he's being honest about how he feels.
Exactly.
And then you can discuss with him like, why do you feel like that? And you can definitely change his mind. I think he was definitely a stubborn person. I don't know him. I never met him.
No.
But
well, he definitely didn't fucking fix his diet.
No, he did not.
That's what he
wanted to die.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing about comics, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you see too much truth and you see that the entire world is a bunch of hypocrites, you kind of want to die. Yeah. And that's just kind of always been. That's also just a Catcher in the Rye. You know, if you think about it, the other thing that's sad about all that is that it's just actually a cliche story. It's not even an original thought. It's a very cliche story about thinking everybody's a bunch of phonies and they're wanting to kill them all. Like, it's a very, you know what I mean? It's not actually original even. So that's why I don't.
You feel alone.
As much as I
a lot.
Yeah, exactly. But everybody, we all do, and it's by design. It's by design. It's that we are all compartmentalized. You know, I don't know. I want to wrap up soon, but I want to tell you about this. I don't know if this is going on here, but like I think it is. A lot of people now have a lot of like there's actual anxiety about whether you have a fucking iPhone or not, and whether you have an iMessage or a green text bubble. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's an actual thing where people are like, ew, I don't like it when a green text At first I heard people go, I don't like it when I see a green text bubble, like it's gross. Now I'm hearing people go, I have anxiety when I see a green text bubble. Like he's like, ew, who's that? And now I'm also hearing somebody made a joke. And then this comic made a joke. It's a funny joke, but it's like a true joke. It's like, you know, if it's not an iMessage, it's harassment. It was like a girl who said that.
That's funny.
It's funny. It's hilarious, but it speaks to the truth, right? It speaks to the underlying truth that now we're all fucking brand loyal, brainwashed bootlickers. Yeah, little fucking bootlicker. Like, and I feel like I've heard comics talk to me and saying like it's important you have the blue text bubble, you know, because people judge you for that. And I was like, are you guys fucking comics? Like, are you fucking not making fun of this? Like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever.
Weird.
It's retarded. It's dumb. It's dumb as fuck. Because I think like you didn't do anything to get that blue text bubble. Like, what makes you so special?
You spent more money. Exactly.
You didn't know. And why do you feel any pride? You feel like, are you so low in self-esteem that you'll latch onto a blue text bubble to feel pride? You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. But I do think that it's because this like a materialistic commercial society, what it does is it makes us all lonely, and then we look for anything to fucking latch on to like feel better. You know, and that's where we are. We're all like weirdly. It's like, you know, there's that somebody said like, you know, right now we're all the most connected but the most alone. You know, so we're all, you know, and it's because it's all based on. It's not real what it's based. It's all based on like marketing. Everything's marketing driven, algorithm driven. It's all designed to make you buy shit, click on shit. You know, it's not genuine. So I don't know. I feel like the only way through all that stuff is to like try to have genuine interactions with people. You know, you got to just continue to have it and knowing who your fucking real friends are. Yeah, and also like you know about that dude Brody Stevens, right? Who fucking hanged himself. Like people say that they saw him the day before. They had no idea. They forgot. A lot of people actually say that about Anthony Bourdain. And a lot of people kill themselves and shit. They're like they literally saw them the day before, had no idea, and that's why a lot of people can't believe it. They think that maybe they were offed or something, because there's like no inkling that they'd ever commit suicide. Yeah. But I do feel like we live in a society where the shit is so not talked about and stigmatized that people hide it real well. They hide it to the point that your best friend could never even know. And the next day you just fucking off yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just feel like the best thing like that people can do is actually talk about the shit and be okay with like talking about like fucking being depressed and thinking about killing yourself and all that shit, because otherwise you'll just do it one day and not tell anyone and no one will know. No, and I feel like that's the whole thing, is like you just gotta tell people, you gotta like connect. And I think that's good.
I mean, I think you gotta watch everybody. You never know.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, because nobody wants to. It's just like nobody wants to hang out with somebody who's depressed. It's fucking sucks.
Right.
And then also there is a stigma of also just like. I mean, let's bring it back to race. If you're white and you're depressed, it's like, why the fuck are you depressed? And like.
Who's telling you this? Is it white people or black people?
No. I feel
everybody.
Because
I understand.
No, and then also like people who have had upbringings that weren't bad. They've had great lives, and then they get depressed for some reason. They catch the cold, and it hurts.
Yeah,
it really sucks.
Yeah,
and then it's just like then they even feel more guilty because they're like, "There's no reason I should feel like this." But it's like there's a reason why you should feel like this. There's something happening, and then you can get like, and then people will be like, "You're fucking, like, you've had a great life. Why the fuck should you feel like this?" And it's like, I'm not wallowing in my own. I don't know why someone would feel like this, or I don't know why I would feel like this.
Well, that's the whole thing about mental health. It's like we think it has something to do with like what's going on in your life or you know what I mean? Like that, it's actually a health. Nobody ever goes like, if you get sick, they're not like, oh, well, why should you be sick? You've got all the money in the world. You know what I mean? Like people get sick because it happens just by being a human being. Yeah. And I think mental health is one of those things where we understand so little. And in this country, we attribute it to weakness. Like
also, I think evolutionary wise, or just like maybe it is society. I mean, they can interact with each other, obviously, but as a man, I don't want to admit I'm depressed because women won't fuck me.
Right.
They get grossed out.
Yeah.
So he's weak.
And
that's
why, and they end up. That's what that dude. The dude who shot up that place, he was talking about that shit. A lot of those dudes are guys who can't get laid.
I know, and
then they just get angry.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, I like Dante Nero because Dante Nero is like, we have to help these people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, fuck those people.
Nah.
It's like, no.
No, I agree with Dante.
Talk to them and convince them that women aren't evil.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's actually your fault.
Yeah.
It's not anybody else's fault. It's your fault.
That's the thing. It's like we have to do the work to reach out to the most despicable people in our society because they're not going to get any better. And the more they're ostracized,
the more they feel alone,
the more they're going to hurt us.
And then because of the internet, they band with each other.
Yeah.
And they form groups.
And they're going to egg each other on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's exactly. So all right. So you fucking shooter fucks out there, fucking put that shit down, you fucking little bitches. All right. No. Okay. No. Anger's not the way. You know what? I understand. I know it's hard, man. No one wants to fuck you, and you got nothing going in your life except being a white guy or a Korean guy. Korean guys shoot up places too. And the thing is, here's a white guy here and a Korean guy, and sure, women fuck us, but besides that. We've been down in the dumps. We've been fucking.
Just think about. I mean, I have a little bit of a theory. It's like white guys, all the white girls, aren't fucking white straight guys anymore because we're the enemy, right?
No, I don't. I think all of that is bullshit.
Let me tell you. I think a lot of it is.
No.
Have you dated white girls before? They love the safe shit.
Yeah.
And they love to feel.
I know. I've dated white girls.
Yeah,
I understand.
Conflict, and they go, "Who's being persecuted right now? I'm gonna fucking."
I don't think that's how people work, man. People just fucking like each other. They can't explain why they like each other. I think a lot of these
then maybe that's a fucking part of it.
No, I think what it is
I'm not saying that's every white girl. I'm not saying it's every black woman.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this is every
woman. I'm saying
dude.
Some people probably will do that to look more progressive.
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree with that. But I think these guys who
I dated I
Yeah.
dated a girl that she would give me little fucking hints that she would just be like, "Ugh, I've never dated a straight white male before," and I was like, you're making me feel like a piece of shit because I'm Caleb, I'm me, and then like that was definitely the reason why I think she fucking left me. What she didn't leave me?
a straight white man. No.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it was like I'm not crazy about.
I'm not saying you're crazy. No, I'm not saying that at all.
If somebody says little hints along the road,
Right.
you're going to be like, is it really because I'm a straight white male? And she was like straight white male. She was anti-straight white male, and it probably to her friends who were like that too. Why the fuck are you dating that fucking guy? Because he's a straight white male. It happens.
Right.
It absolutely happens.
But none of this should drive anybody to mass murder. Is what I,
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is about these
women are
guys.
just as guilty of that shit.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is about these guys who end up going all the way, and decide to fucking take AKs and shoot up a mosque or a church or synagogue. All three Abrahamic religions, by the way. All shut up. All houses of worship, all three major religions, houses of worship shut up. Still missing Buddhists and Hindus. So, I'm sure Hindus have been done. But anyway, in America is what counts. Anyway,
all the religions religions and philosophies that work were definitely influenced by psychedelic drugs. I feel like they used it in their practices. I don't think Christianity ever really used psychedelics.
Oh no, dude, the fucking mushroom and the cross, isn't that what it's called? The fucking how Jesus is actually a mushroom.
That's how they came up with the story. But wasn't like Buddhists and shit like that. They were definitely. If you look at Buddhism, they teach you to just love and not have tons of materialistic things, right? That's like one of the main things of Buddhism.
I wouldn't say love, but it's
or empathize, or
you should have compassion. You should have compassion.
And I learned that through psychedelic drugs.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, Christianity taught the same thing.
You're supposed to have compassion. Yeah.
You're supposed to.
All the religions do.
Yeah.
Honestly, all the religions.
Fair enough. What I said was.
Yeah. Well, look,
true.
I want to wrap this up because it's been a long one and a good one though. But first of all. Oh, that's not too long. All right, maybe it's long for you guys.
You gotta
out
go to
there.
dinner, right?
I gotta get going. Yeah, and fucking. All right. Where can people find you, Caleb? Where are they? Yeah, where can they?
You can go to calebbarge.com. I have my podcast, We're Going to Hell, with my co-host Mike Hernandez. You can find all the links there to that. Yeah, you can do that. So, and I just also started a solo podcast too called the Caleb Barge Podcast.
So you got a Caleb Barge. If they Google you, are there a lot of Caleb Barges?
No, if you Google Caleb Barge, I think one of the first things to pop up on Google is Caleb Barge comedy.
So they should Google Caleb Barge comedy. Right? That would probably be the first thing that pops up.
I've Googled myself, and the first thing that pops up is my website.
It is.
Yes.
So Google Caleb Barge. It's the first thing that pops up.
Yeah.
You can find his podcast, We're Going to Hell. It's on YouTube and all the major podcast distribution outlets, right?
All those things.
All the major ones. And then he's going to look out for his solo podcast coming, The Caleb Barge Show. And Caleb Barge Podcast. I'm sorry. And you got any shows or anything you want to plug besides that?
Nothing really too crazy right now, but I will be at the Laughing Devil Comedy Festival in New York City. I don't know exactly what dates yet, but it takes place through May 8th through 12th, I believe so, May 8th through 12th.
All right. Cool. Well, I guess I'm wrapping it up. I mean, do I have to go? I kind of do. All right. Well, it's been great talking to you from the bedroom that I did DMT in, and also the place you live. I wonder if you move from here, if I'll come back and be like, hey, can I just come in and
just reminisce?
Yeah, just remember. Just being here, in here, I literally do have the memory, the memory is very clear. It's actually a lot clearer.
Yeah, Brian Gian came over here the other day, and he was like, oh shit, and then he was kind of took a little bit for him to be like, okay, yeah, and he was like, you guys want to do fucking DMT? And we're like, we've been drinking, dude, we're not gonna do it. And he's like, oh, okay, fair enough.
Oh, he thought he was gonna do some, or he wanted to do some?
Yeah, he wanted to do some.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I totally. It's just the space. I remember it all.
We didn't even do it right.
Yeah, what'd you do it out of? Oh, you mean
No,
us? You and me?
you
Oh
and
no, we
I.
did it like a fucking pair of like
didn't even-
degenerates.
well,
like,
yeah, you didn't even technically blast off.
I think I did. I don't
A
know.
little bit, but like.
How do you know? Like, you weren't in there. You, you weren't in.
Well, the thing is,
you were,
I've blasted
Oh,
off.
I know you have. But I mean,
Have you ever had spiritual beings tell you?
yeah, I mean, I
I was
had
under-
contact. I talked to things.
Yeah, I remember Rogin fucking started opening his eyes and he just goes, "Whoa," and he just couldn't like look at anything except just like looking around, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, that's how it feels."
Dude, I don't know
You're coming back from a fucking dude. It's amazing.
I mean, I went away, dude. I went away, and I have a very like the whole like blast. The memory is very clear. It's like after that gets a little fuzzy, but like the whole it's like like that thing
Dude,
is just so clear to me, dude. Just like
the first time I did it with you, it was the first time I ever did it, and we didn't know what we were doing.
I didn't take off then. That time I didn't take off.
But I remember I thought I was in like some weird planet like Mars or something where I had no just like, and I remember you said something really funny because I felt somebody go, "All right, shut up and listen to me. I'm going to teach you some shit." And I felt like just a bunch of Egyptian. It felt Egyptian or just like this bunch of, I don't know what it was. It was just like a bunch of shit being shown to me all at once. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then I told you about it and you were like, dude, you just got an alien downgrade in your brain.
Download, yeah.
Downloaded your brain.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was just like, what the fuck was that, man?
Yeah.
And it's definitely made me a different person.
Yeah, man. It really changed me too.
There is some side effects to DMT. It's not like you'll have a hangover. You'll just realize that nothing of this really matters.
Yeah.
And nobody else gets it, and you can feel more alone.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's why it's good to probably do it in like a social or responsible type setting, like not treat it like something you get high on by yourself and shit, you know what I mean?
The thing is, I did it by myself for a while. I thought that was because I like to trip by myself.
Yeah.
But I liked doing DMT by myself because there is some weird aspect of like, you got to be really close with the person. I'm not going to do it with somebody I barely know.
Right.
Like, because you're passing out in front of them.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know.
You feel vulnerable. What if they start jerking you off or something?
Yeah, you're gone.
Oh man, though that happens. Have you ever heard about the fucking the dude who kidnapped him and his girlfriend kidnapped this other guy and like
Yes,
they fucking dripped DMT in an IV and fucking
acid,
had him
in a
tripping.
bunker,
Yeah, for like 36 hours or some shit. Fucking were torturing him with the DMT. That's evil as fuck.
Evil as fuck.
Can you imagine putting DMT into your fucking vein? Like how? Because it would be like this and you're tripping forever.
That's dude, that's an evil person.
Dude, that's evil as
And
fuck,
the thing
man.
is, I did too much DMT once, and I literally had a bad trip. I saw hell. So you never know how long.
Oh, imagine he was in hell. He probably was. They were torturing him.
He was probably in hell for what he thought was an eternity.
Oh yeah, no, that dude's done. I mean, that dude's toast.
He's his brain is like
Yeah, he's traumatized forever. He's forever. Even if he's okay now, he's no way.
I mean, even that bad trip was something that I looked at, and I still kind of look at it positively.
Do you sort of remember like demons and shit? Like there was like a
no, never. I just make a joke where I'm like, I'm never using that pipe again because the devil's in there.
Oh, gotcha.
So I won't use that pipe ever again.
One time I thought I was in hell from a bad acid trip, and it actually was that it was reality. It looked like everything normal, but I knew deep down inside it wasn't. And that's what, to me, the definition of hell was. It was like the weirdest fucking feel where you're just like everybody's acting normal, and then like deep down inside you're like, this is all fake. This is all bullshit. Like,
yeah.
And you like feel trapped.
The DMT trip I had that was like I was like in hell where was excuse me. I kept seeing colors of red and yellow and orange, which is flames.
Right.
But I could have just been doing that in my brain because I'm like, dude, I feel like I'm in hell right now. But it was you remember in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas where he's like, you took too much, man, and that can't think of that actually kept happening. If someone was saying. It was me probably being like, you took too much, and it kept getting higher and lower, and it was freaking me the fuck out. And I was like, I'm out of control of this. Which if you were out of control in your psychedelic experience, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
It's just like you need to, and that's where you grow some balls and you fucking. I remember once I was doing acid and I started to have a bad trip, and I was like, oh no, 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 and everything got dark. And I was like, shit, no, 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 and then I fucking fixed it.
Yeah.
And I felt really proud of myself.
Yeah, you feel good.
I was like, this could have been 8 hours of torture.
But it was discipline. You disciplined your mind.
Yeah, and Terrence McKenna actually said if you start to have a bad trip, it's good to breathe in oxygen. So a good way to do that is to sing, and that's like comforting yourself.
I think that's it also makes you feel better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just sing something that's like that you really like. I mean, not like Paramore or anything. But
Right.
it's like
It'd be awesome if you're like having a bad trip and you're just like to the window, to the wall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like,
I'll sing old Irish songs and
Fuck
be
yeah.
like,
Tiny boy, and you start drinking.
dirty old town, you know. But that trip, it was actually. I knew I had no concept of time. I was like, I'm stuck like this forever. I was like, I've been like this forever.
Oh yeah, man.
I've
had that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm here.
Wait,
now.
on acid?
No, on
That's
DMT.
on DMT. Ooh.
And I was like, I have no idea. Excuse me, what's going on right now? I was just like, and then I actually started thinking about Mike and Brian watching me because they were here.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, dude, they're watching me, and I'm probably freaking out. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Like I'm probably like convulsing, like dying or something.
Yeah.
And I'm somewhere else. My body's fucking. Who knows what's going on?
Right.
And the scariest part was every DMT trip. People who are listening, if you take the right dose, if it's too intense, you can open your eyes and it's usually gone. You can come back to reality. But I opened my eyes, and Mike actually said that I was looking at my hands. And I was like, I couldn't see them.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I actually had a moment in my life during the trip where I was like, all right, I'm just going to ride this one out. And because I realized I went, okay, I know this is going to be over. But then the feeling comes back, no, you're stuck like this.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I know I'm fucking. And I was like, all right. And I was like zooming through shit, and it was not pleasant. And then I remember zooming through what I thought was my subconscious. And I met two things that were like things that really that were traumatic, like they looked ugly or something like that, or just like not looked like part of my brain.
They're like objects.
They were like, they looked like it looked like fucking nerve endings in a brain or something like that.
Whoa, okay.
And I met them. And it was, I remember realizing one was my dad and one was my mom. And I was like, this is just fucking. And then the end of the trip,
you're like, God damn it.
And then the end of the trip was this. I saw myself outside of my body. I was looking down on me, and I looked like a child. And somebody was going, dude, stop doing. You took too much. Learn from this. Don't ever do it again. You're not cool. This is not cool.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, yes.
Yeah.
And then I remember coming out, and I remember just going, can you guys hear me? And then Mike and Brian just like look at me like terrified. Not like terrified, but they're just like looking at me because
they're like, oh shit.
They're like, and I remember looking at them, and then Mike goes, dude, he's still in it. He's still in it. Yeah, it was a great. I was, and I was, and there was my whiteboard was behind Brian, and all the letters were just moving like they were in the wind.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm tripping my balls off right now. I was like, okay, this is like I'm coming down, and I oh my god, dude, I was like,
yeah.
And then Brian almost was scared to do it because he was like. I was like, dude,
is that what's going to happen to me?
And he was like, fuck, man. I was like, no, dude, you're going to have a great time. That was insane.
Yeah.
And guess what? Don't ever do what I just did. Don't ever do it.
Which is what? Do a bunch?
Do
too much?
Too much that you can't handle.
There's too much. So you were kind of being like a fucking, renegade. Like you're trying to be a maverick and push it to the limit a little, and then they slapped you down.
And also see what happens. And I go,
they showed you.
And then I come back and I tell people like, yeah, don't do that.
Right.
I experimented.
Right. I did it.
Yeah.
I'll
suffer for you.
Well, thank God for you and Jesus Christ. And I think that's the lesson here. Another white man who saved us.
All right. Jesus was not white, motherfucker. You know that for a fact.
It's the whitest. Are you kidding me? He was sunburned on that cross. That's what killed him. It wasn't even the crucifixion. It was the sunburn. He was so white. And he didn't have no gay friends to put sunscreen on him. All right. They were all straight. Okay. Anyway, thanks, Caleb, for
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Dude, it's been amazing fucking seeing you and being here and
Yeah,
hearing
man. It's
your
always good to see
stories.
you.
Fucking everybody, follow Caleb online and fucking listen to his shit. Cool. Thanks a lot, man.
Violence is a part of America's culture. It is as American as cherry pie. You can't win. It can't work. What can you accomplish? There's nothing we can do. The United States government is so powerful. What you do doesn't make any difference. You don't matter.
Woo! See, that wasn't that a good one? That was quite something, right? That was great. That was a great pod, right? Pod. My God. All right. I liked how everything was kind of wrapped into a neat little bow there. You see that? You had the little sunscreen, sunburn talk. Jesus getting sunburned, right? Little the DMT trip bookend, little bookend to the. I guess it's not an exact bookend for my OCD self now that I'm thinking about it, because I started out talking about DMT and then went into sunburns. And at the end, we did it the other way around. So that's unsettling. I might go into the edit and switch it around, in which case I have to redo this. So there's more work for me. This takes a lot of work, guys. Podcasting takes a lot of work. But I'm glad to do it because I gotta let it out, guys. I'm trying to let it out. Trying to let you guys know what's going on in the world of Rogin Kim. Okay, well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Please follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, at Rogin Kim. Find me on YouTube, Rogin Kimcast. That's the name of my channel. That's where I put up episodes of the Kimcast as well, if you're a YouTube type. I also put up stand-up clips there, clips of my show, this show, clips of other things, just video. That's where my videos will be. So follow me on YouTube as well, Rogin Kim on YouTube, or just type in Rogin Kimcast. Follow Caleb Barge on Twitter and Instagram. Caleb Barge and the We're Going to Hell podcast. You can find it on iTunes and Stitcher and all those guys. You can find their Twitter and Instagram at WGTH Pod, right? And I guess I really appreciate the time that people are taking to listen to this, and I appreciate any new listeners I might be getting. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff that helps out the show. Yeah, please do it too. We're going to hell, and let's all go to hell together, right? I mean, yes, we're going to hell, but at least it's going to be together, right? No one is better than anyone else, and I'm glad to be on this journey with you. So, until next time, guys. Goodbye.